Hey, I'm Foxov. Just came back from Climax at night, well, a couple days ago. I still haven't got my voice back yet, not completely, but I still really wanted to make a video. So here's a video on some of the setups that I used at Climax. Some tech that I've been holding on to just in case it paid off for me at the event. So the whole concept of the setup is this. I'm going to skip to the end of a combo here using a save state. That is a gapless high-low point that is enabled by them respecting this meaty gem detonation. Just like that. So obviously if they do anything here, you are quite safe. You can simply watch them block it out, and if they do block it out, you can start staggering, go for strike throw. Very vanilla stuff, right? The other thing that you can do though is go for another gem set. So what we're going to do for this Oki is we're going to be holding A and C together at the end of our route, and we are going to release with C, like that. That frees us up to either 6-6B or 6-6C and set another gem. Okay, first I'm going to show you the B version. This is something important here. Let's take a note at this frame advantage. Why is this 0? Okay, you have to delay your 2BBB just a little bit. Now we're cooking, right? Now we're okay. Yeah, that's where it gets a little inconsistent. So delay your 2BBB just a little bit. Now, the thing enabling both of these setups is this spacing right here. When the opponent is pushed right next to you and they have this gem behind them, and you 5A, you are plus 21. You need to be at least plus 19 for a gapless drill, so this works out great for us. So what we're doing here is after you can get this at a decent advantage, we are going to go for our partition. Now, if you have never partitioned a B drill, I would suggest that you work on just about anything else before you get to that point. This is really the circus trick territory of Batista, you know? And it's really cool stuff, but at the same time, it can be really executionally demanding. It's going to take a lot of your lab time. If you are just learning the character, maybe give it a little bit of time before you dive into this stuff. Or dive in right away because you're not necessarily competitive and you just want to do something cool. That's fine too. In any case, I'm going to walk you through what this partition looks like. We are aiming for 40-ish frames for our drill, right? So our gem set accounts for the first about 20 of that. We are sneaking in an upcharge during our gem set if you look at my inputs on the left. Now, if we do this and then 5A, without any kind of block stun, which will keep us grounded a little bit longer, then we don't have quite enough charge for a drill. We need, at least 44. So instead, what we get on block is just enough, just right. So our partition looks like this: gem set, 5A, drill. Now, if I put it together with that Oki from earlier, it looks something like that. So if you're keeping up, awesome. If not, I've got some resources in the description. So that is the first setup that you would want to know. And this is good for people who are just going to sit there because they don't fear this. They don't know to fear it. They are kind of just ready for you to do your gem set Oki and then do anything else. Slam veil off or backdash or flash kick. Literally anything, right? But until then, they're just going to wait there and let you feed them this projectile Oki first, But what if you have somebody that is backtecking, which is, you know, not too bad of an idea against Batista's Oki mid-screen. Well, if they do this, well, now you do have still a decent situation here. You can go for this, right? So this can actually be gapless. There's plus 11, and you need 10 frames for your rising JA, right? So if they don't backtech backdash, you can actually go for this 6xp det and then set another gem, and then rising JA, falling JA, high-low them that way. So that's all fine and well. So the other thing that you can do is chase their tech with 6xc, just like this. Now, you want to be careful if you just do the first hit right here. You can sometimes be plus 6, like you need to be. But sometimes you can be only plus 1 or minus 1. It's a little dicey, so I would recommend going for the outer detonation using the second hit of 6xc. And from there, the setup is pretty much identical. So either way, you get this situation. Now, obviously, there's a third factor here, right? What if they do nothing? You know? This can be a little bit hard to account for, but not impossible. In fact, if you want to get really nerdy with it can actually be that safe. But okay, let's look at some ways to capitalize on this. So probably the most basic way to take advantage of delay tech is just concentrate and get yourself an extra grid block. Not that big a deal, right? But also not the most ideal this version where it's a little bit more aggressive. I think that in previous versions, just take the grid was a little more fine. Now we value our offense a lot more. We really want to push for these offensive situations wherever possible. So just concentrate is really on the lowest rung of taking advantage of delay tech. So one thing that we are doing outside of scouting for delay tech is when we are chasing back tech to 6xc, we are holding forward and we are looking at what the opponent does. And if they move, then we move with them. By the way, this has the added advantage of if they're going to DP, you can cross their input height. So here in training mode, height is correcting the other side, but in a real game, we cross up the input and they get 2 and 4 instead and get hit. Nice little perk, right? So we're looking to see where they go, and if they do not go anywhere, then we do this. Let me explain. Oh, by the way, to account for this here, yes, you can do this. It's not the most ideal situation to kind of have to panic and do it like that. It's kind of on you to have a read on whether or not the opponent is going to sit in place or if they're going to try and escape. You can boil it down to that kind of binary. If they are teching in place, they are not back teching, they are not delay teching or anything like that, then that's one way to approach it. And then this other way to approach it is when they're trying to flee. That's kind of what you need to be looking for. So going back to delay tech, if we 6-6 here and they aren't moving and we don't have to chase them, then what we do instead is this. You can just as well do this. It's absolutely fine. I would suggest if they are delay teching to maybe start out with one of these meaty options and just see what they do. Just in my personal experience, when a player fully delays their tech, they often have something funny planned. Now, if you aren't playing the layers with their reversals, what you can do instead with this is just a pretty kind of vanilla chain detonation drill setup. Very similar to the kind of thing that you would see in the corner. pretty much same stuff, right? Gapless high-low, we like that. Now granted, there is no way to account for all of the mini in-between timings between a straight up back tech and a delayed stationary tech and a delayed back tech. Uni can get into some really weird wake up timings. So don't expect to account for absolutely every single one of them. Your most difficult opponents are going to be the ones that throw in those partial delay backdashes and that sort of thing. But this is a decent set of tools to have against the common opponent. So that's the idea. Hopefully this stuff is helpful to you. I want to make some more videos coming up, so do the thing.